Lake Tanganyika is located at the Great Valley of Rift in Africa, and it is shared by 4 different countries: Zambia, Tanzania, Burundi, and Congo. It is considered as the second largest freshwater lake in the world. It extends for 676 kilometers and has an average of 50 kilometers in width. The lake covers 32,900 square kilometers with a shoreline of 1,828 kilometers and a mean depth of 570 meters and a maximum depth of 1,470 meters. It has an average surface temperature of 25 degrees Celsius. Lake Tanganyika is also known for the huge amount of fish species it has. Such biodiversity is a reason for it to be a fundamental part for the research of the theory of evolution. The great variety of life in the lake makes it essential for the ecosystem's sustainability. However, in the past decade, the lake has recorded a temperature of 26 degrees Celsius, the highest temperature in 1,500 years. The uprising temperature is considered as one of the main causes for fish stock to decrease. One of the main reasons for the upsetting climate change is mainly logging and deforestation near the zone. For example, Congo and Burundi share each a 46% and a 40% of the totality of the lake. Their main industries reside in the massive deforestation for raw material and the enormous pollution created by the extraction of hydrocarbons. For instance, satellite images show how small and big fires caused by different reasons such as agriculture, large-scale burning, logging and deforestation are constantly surrounding and altering Tanganyika's environment. Many of these or big industries cause an incredible disequilibrium among air components, increasing the amount of CO2 gases and contributing to the greenhouse effect and eventually the climate change. The unbalanced components affect the region's climate, contributing to the rising temperature of the lake surface. What are the effects of deforestation in Lake Tanganyika's environment? Number 1. Release of greenhouse gas emissions causes 15% of global greenhouse gas releases. 1/3 of these CO2 emissions are caused by human activity. Number 2. Disrupted water cycles. As a result of deforestation, trees no longer evaporate groundwater, causing the local climate to be drier. According to a presentation sent by geologist Dr. Pierre-Denis Plisnier, expert in the research for the Lake Tanganyika's phenomenon, the lake is divided into 2 main layers. The warm surface layers, eplimnion, is mixed by the wind. It is a bit lighter and floats above the deep layer, hypolimnion. Nutrients in the Lake Tanganyika are accumulating in deep waters. It contains more than 100 times the concentration of nitrogen phosphorus than in the surface. The hypolimnion is thus like a rich deep lake storing the nutrients. When the wind is strong, some lake mixing is possible, and deep water containing nutrients can reach the surface water where there is light. Photosynthesis can take place. Plant growth allows more food for fish and higher fish production. However, climate impacts the mixing of the lakes. As winds are low and temperature high, nutrients are more isolated in deep waters. The production of the lake can decrease. A variable temperature causes a variable density. Therefore, the mixing of the nutrients changes, and as a result, production changes. Tropical lakes are very sensitive to climate change. Density of water fastly changes at high temperature. A higher thermic stratification of the lake is linked to less internal mixing and less biological production. Nutrients remain far from the light that is only present in the 45 upper meters of the lake. Less wind, less mixing, less upwelling, less algae production, less fish. Beyond the environmental phenomenon, the social one is worst. 10 million Africans depend on the fishing industry for making a living. They use the resources that the lake offers, such as water and food. However, as fish has reduced its population, poverty has increased in two of the poorest countries in the world like Congo and Burundi. Finally, the climate change has affected Lake Tanganyika's fish production. This problem isn't just a matter of biodiversity, but a social and economic issue. Jessica Tierney, scientist from the National Science Foundation, found an indirect relation between temperature and fish stock. As temperature rises, fish decrease their population, what means that serious measures need to be taken into account concerning global warming. For example, a controlled extraction of resources.